Here we go. This one right here. Let me ask you a question. As a business owner or a content creator, lately have you been stuck trying to figure out what type of content to deliver to your audience? Or maybe you're actively creating content, but you're not getting the results you want. But what if I told you that I have 5 subjects, and if you write about these, the search engines will fall in love with you and your potential customers will actually come to you? Yeah, I got that. And in this video, I'm letting it all hang out. We call these 5 subjects the Big 5. So strap in, sit back, get your notepad out, because it's on. What's going on, folks? It's Terrence, video content producer extraordinaire. And this video right here is going to be crucial. And by the end, you're gonna be able to take immediate action. I'm covering 5 types of content subjects that are gonna move the needle with your readers. These are gonna render the greatest amount of traffic, leads, conversions, and ultimately sales. These topics aren't specific to any industry. It works for all businesses, even yours. These are the 5 main subjects that consumers and businesses search the most when they're about to make a buying decision. However, for some reason, the majority of businesses ignore these subjects as if they're going to magically disappear. But I'll let you in on something. If you want the edge on the majority of companies in your industry, learn how to address these 5 critical subjects. By doing so, you'll win a prize that's difficult to gain and in most instances, impossible to buy. And that is trust. Let's get right to it. 90% of companies refuse to discuss price on their website for 3 main reasons. Number 1, every situation is different. There's just too many variables to be specific. Number 2, we couldn't talk price. If we did that, our competitors would know what we charge. And number 3, no, we couldn't talk price. We would scare our customers away. Stop it. Let's break each one of those down. Number 1, customers aren't stupid. They know price will vary. But as a company, although you may not be able to give exact price, you should be able to come up with a range and discuss the factors that are involved that bring prices up and down. Simple. Number 2, I hate to break this to you, but it's not a secret how much you charge. Most of your competitors already know this number, or at least they have a ballpark figure, just like you know how much they charge. And besides, if you're educating and answering your customers' questions, you shouldn't be worried about the competition. And number 3, it's not price that'll scare customers away. It's the point of you not being honest that'll cause somebody not to do business with you. Remember, discussing price isn't really about affordability. It's about trust. When you fail to discuss price, customers think that you're wasting their time and they're not finding the answers they want. They're thinking, hey, I'm the customer, it's my money, and I'm willing to give it to you. So I have the right to know how much the thing costs. As a business, you know how much your product or service costs, and the customer's aware of that. So by you not discussing price, it looks like you're hiding something. And that, my friend, is the quickest way to lose trust. Think about it. When you're about to make a purchase, don't you want to know how much it costs? Well, so does your customer. How do we put this into practice? How do we discuss price and costs? The first thing you want to do is generate a list of all the products and services that you offer as a company. And you're not going to make a price list. What you do is you write a few articles or maybe generate some videos and you explain the factors that causes price to fluctuate within those products and services. This is gonna do 2 things. This is gonna show honesty, transparency, and it'll also give the customer a ballpark figure or a range as to how much money they should be expecting to spend with you. Simple. Number 2 on a Big 5 list is problems. All buyers wanna know the good, the bad, the ugly about the product or service they're buying. But as we know, most concern is placed on the ugly. When people buy, they worry more about what might go wrong than what can go right. That's just how it is. For instance, when people type in a search engine, it's either gonna be XYZ product reviews or XYZ product negative reviews. People rarely search for XYZ product positive reviews. So if you know customers are gonna be searching for negative reviews and what can go wrong, why wouldn't you jump ahead of your competitors or the marketplace itself and address these problems up front? They Ask You Answer calls these problems the elephant in the room. The problem is, the majority of businesses won't discuss these problems because they think that they're secrets that the potential customers won't find out. But once again, we have to remember, customers are not dumb, nor are they ignorant. They will get the answers to these problems from someone. Wouldn't it be better if they got them from you? You may be thinking, well, how is talking about the problems with my product or service going to help me generate revenue? Well, the answer is simple, and it comes down to psychology. By addressing and embracing the elephant in the room, you immediately gain the buyer's trust. The majority of potential buyers are asking questions about these problems, and yet the majority of businesses in your industry refuse to provide answers. This is the perfect opportunity for you to set your business apart from the others, build trust, and control the narrative behind these problems. And peep this, if you're the only company brave enough to discuss these problems on your website, who do you think pops up in search when customers begin to type in questions relating to these problems? You. Now, how do we address problems? Start off by thinking of your competitors. What are the things they say are negative about your product or service? Make a list. Now, think about your customers or your potential buyers, and what are the things that they deem negative about your product or service? Make another list. Now, your job is to be totally honest, transparent, and address each of these negatives on your website and within your sales process. Simple. Number 3 on the big 5, versus and comparisons. As human beings, we love choice. We are fascinated with having options and being able to make comparisons. As consumers, we want to know what's the best, the worst, and everything in between. Most buyers are going to do research on their options, stack them up against one another, and then make a decision. The digital age has changed the landscape. Customer ignorance no longer exists. Even if they start out with no knowledge of your product, service, the industry itself, or the other available options, give them some time behind their keyboard, and they eventually become informed buyers. Many of them get to the point where they're more educated than the salesperson they're dealing with. As a business, you have to pivot. You have to assume your potential buyer is aware of every possible solution, every possible competitor, and every possible vendor in your space. Once you let that sink in your brain, you can begin to create unbiased content, which will allow you to build trust with your customers. This does not include articles of you bragging how great your company is, how long you've been in existence, and how you're the best solution for everything. No, instead, you're gonna compare your company with the other solutions. You're gonna talk about the pros and cons of your company and the pros and cons of the other available solutions. Yes, you heard that correctly. You're going to mention things that are good about the other options. And most importantly, you're gonna mention that although you have a great product or service, there may be situations when your option is not the best fit for everyone. In fact, the other solution may be the best way to go. Sounds counterintuitive. However, by you being totally unbiased and mentioning both sides of the coin, you have now disarmed the buyer. They immediately sense your honesty, they have dropped their guard, and now they are ready to listen to you and begin to see you as a trusted authority in your industry. In addition to building trust, search engines will begin to reward you for producing content that discusses these differences, especially when the majority of businesses aren't discussing these issues, or if they are, they're being totally one-sided. And to finally wrap up the subject of versus and comparisons, think of your sales cycle. When customers have access to accurate, unbiased information that pertains to all the options available to them, you're gonna cut down on the amount of phone calls you receive and book fewer appointments from bad fit prospects. All right, so how do we put this into action? The first thing you wanna do is conduct some research in your industry. You wanna identify those comparison-based questions that potential buyers are asking now. You gotta keep your finger on the pulse because these questions change over time. You also wanna get with your sales team and you wanna write down every question that was ever received from a prospect or a customer who was asking you to compare 2 or more things. These can include different products, different brands, different competitors. It can even include products and services that you don't sell but are related to your industry. Once you compile this list, it's time to create blog posts, videos, webinars, and other marketing materials that answer these questions while being totally honest, transparent, and unbiased. Number 4 in the big 5, reviews. I've mentioned that consumers, buyers, they love to compare and weigh their options, but they also love reviews. What are people saying about the product or service? What do they love about it? What gets on their nerves? What type of experiences are people having? Of course, you want to include reviews on products and services that you sell, but the magic happens when you identify other reputable companies within your industry, highlight who they are, what they provide, and explain why they're respected in the marketplace, and give an honest review. By doing this, you become the go-to person for prospects looking for help when making buying decisions. And number 5 of the big 5, best in class. If you've ever been asked to compare 2 or more things within your industry, chances are there are going to be opportunities for you to create best in class content. For example, let's say you sold camping equipment. chances are you received questions about different types of tents. You could publish content on the best tents for under $100, the best tents for families, the best tents for winter camping, and on and on and on. If you're in tune with the marketplace and your potential customers, you'll know exactly what to produce. To really put this into practice and embrace the method, you have to be willing to research the top competitors and companies in your space that are doing things right, and discuss them on your website without any opinions. Just state the facts. And guess what? Your company will not be on this best class list. I know, Mr. Counterintuitive over here, but come on, how does that look? You're producing a best in class list and then putting yourself on the list. You immediately lose credibility. The buyer's now skeptical and has their guard up. And remember, you were trying to build trust. This is more of a psychological play. You are putting yourself in position so that the buyer begins to see you as the #1 trusted source in your industry, even when you're not talking about your company. And that's priceless. And there you have it. You now have the big 5. But where do you start? Well, there's 2 options. The first one should be obvious. Stay tapped in and listen to your customer. If you do that, they'll let you know what content needs to be written first. And the other option is start with price and cost, because that seems like the subject that's mostly on all buyers' minds. And that's it, folks. I am done. You now have access to the big 5. So get to work and start creating some content. If you do, I guarantee you will get results that will blow your mind. And if you've gotten any value from anything you've heard today, please like, subscribe, share, hit that notification button so you don't miss anything we got coming. I told you, we got some stuff on the way that's gonna change the way you do and think about marketing. Be sure to visit the comment section. Maybe you've written about a topic that I didn't mention that you've gotten some good results from. Well, share it. That's the only way we grow, is by starting the conversation and helping each other out. And remember, live well and always be marketing. Peace.